Earlier this week, ACMi News Director Jeff Barnes talked to the president of the Arlington Historical Society, Robert Brazile, about the planned reenactment between the Redcoats and the Minutemen. For the first time in 5 years, the Battle of Menotomy will come alive in Arlington, and it promises to be bigger and better than ever.
You can call this historic home the epicenter of Arlington's storied past. The Jason Russell House was the site of one of the bloodiest battles on April 19, 1775, the very first day of our American Revolution. We, of course, were not known as the town of Arlington back then. In 1775, this was the quaint farming village of Menotomy. Jason Russell and 11 other colonials and 2 British soldiers were killed right here on April 19th as the fighting intensified. All this while the British were retreating from Concord to Boston. Mr. Russell built this simple house in the 1740s using resalvaged materials from his grandparents' older home. The Arlington Historical Society acquired and restored this house in 1923. And in 1974, the National Park Service and the Department of the Interior approved the addition of this historic home to the National Register of Historic Places. And this year, on Patriots Day weekend, April 14th to be exact, Sunday, there will be a reenactment of the Battle of Menotomy right here. It'll be the first battle reenactment here in 5 years, and it promises to be by far the biggest.
3 cheers for His Majesty King George III. Hip hip! Huzzah! Huzzah! Huzzah!
It's been a few years since we've been able to have the reenactment, and so people are very excited about being able to stage it again. It's going to start down near Grove Street and work its way all the way up to Medford Street. But of course, some of the sort of larger events of that day happened here at the Jason Russell House, and this, as a result, the site will be part of that reenactment. So there's flanking maneuvers, and the British coming in from the side and attacking the people that were here in the house. Obviously, as people are, I think, are mostly aware, we have evidence of that attack still in the house that people can look at. But after a few years off with the pandemic, with all the changes we've had in the last few years, it's sort of good to exercise these muscles again, if you will, and get ready for the big one, the 250th anniversary of that day, which is in 2025. What I think a lot of people aren't aware, the battles at the North Bridge and at Battle of Green and Lexington were hugely important, but they happened before all of the militias could get here. And so they were humping to get here as fast as they could from Bedford, from Billerica, from various places north and south of here, from Dedham, from all over the place. They were hiking in here, and this is where they were able to get before the British came back down the road. So the British went up the road in the night. At dawn they were at the Battle Green, then they went out to the North Bridge to try to claim the arms that they thought were there, and then they started fighting their way back. And what happened is, about the time they hit Menotomy, which was then where the countryside sort of stopped and settled land started becoming clear again, well, that's where everybody was waiting for them. And so a great deal of the fighting, they were fighting all the way back, but the sort of pitched battle was really here. This is where they took the biggest hit. As it was, a lot of people were hurt or killed in this, both in the various ambushes along the way, and then the sort of house-by-house pitched battle that happened here. So yeah, it was a big deal, and it was all they could do to get back where they were going.
The Battle of Menotomy was deadlier than the combined casualties from the battles of Lexington and Concord earlier that day on April 19th. Battles at Arlington's foot of the rocks at Mass Ave and Lowell Street, roughly 1.2 miles from here, and the Jason Russell House saw the most casualties. Many of Menotomy's fallen soldiers and Minutemen now rest in the old burying ground on Pleasant Street in Arlington Center, just down the street from here. And that battle will be reenacted right here again on Sunday, April 14th, and will really serve as the kickoff to this town's 250th celebration next year. And the folks at the Arlington 250 Committee hope you attend. I know for a fact ACMi is going to be there from start to finish. For more information on the battle reenactment and all the events that'll be taking place in future months, just go to the committee website. Visit arlingtonma.org/Arlington-250. Again, that's visit arlingtonma.org/Arlington-250. Hope to see you there on April the 14th, Sunday. Let's just hope the weather holds out. For ACMi News, I'm Jeff Barnes.
We hope to see you there. For more information on the Battle reenactment and all the events that will be taking place in future months, just go to the committee website, visit arlingtonma.org/Arlington250. Again, that's visit arlingtonma.org/Arlington250.